Commissioner Jerome Powell not lowering interest rates again. Many people say that he's playing politics with the futures of millions.
Well, he is. We call him Too Late. He's Too Late. It's his new nickname.
Will Hillary Clinton finally be investigated for election fraud?
I hope so. I hope so. I don't know whether or not that'll happen, but I hope so.
Actress Sydney Sweeney, it came out this weekend that she was a registered Republican. Any thoughts on that?
That who was?
Sydney Sweeney. She's like a very hot actress right now.
She's a registered Republican?
Yes.
Oh, now I love her ad. Is that right? Is Sydney Sweeney? You'd be surprised at how many people are Republicans.
Is it true you weigh 195 now? In the middle of the Epstein scandal, a scandal that has consumed the White House, frankly, more than any other that Donald Trump has faced as a politician or president. Those are the questions that Trump is fielding from what is now a hand-picked, totally transformed, MAGA-friendly press corps. Whether intentional or not, it is assisting Donald Trump tremendously in a distraction campaign when he is not asked any questions about why he is making convicted sex offender Ghislaine Maxwell more comfortable by moving her to a lower security prison. The Trump administration is also escalating this distraction campaign, as we first reported on our broadcast yesterday. Attorney General Pam Bondi has ordered a grand jury investigation into whether officials in the Obama administration committed federal crimes when they assessed Russia's influence in the 2016 election, assessments that have been corroborated by 2 Republican-led investigations, including by Donald Trump's Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Joining our coverage and our conversation on these topics is White House correspondent for the New York Times, author of 2024, Tyler Pager is here, and the president of Media Matters for America, Angelo Carusone, is here. So, Tyler, I'm so glad you're here. Von Hillier painted a really important picture for me yesterday when I'm a million years old, but when I worked in a White House and there was a scandal, it didn't matter if the journalists worked at Fox News or MSNBC or NBC. If there was a scandal, the journalists from all those networks had questions about the scandal engulfing the administration in which I served. I find it perplexing that Donald Trump is on, frankly, CNBC for 32 minutes and isn't asked a single question about the scandal that, by his White House's own admission, has engulfed the West Wing. And I wonder if you can just paint a picture for me of the dynamic and the relationship between Donald Trump and what is a pretty transformed White House press corps.
Yeah, I think one of the noteworthy things that we've seen this administration do is play a bigger role in selecting the journalists that get to cover the president. We've seen many legal fights over this very matter after the administration banned the Associated Press. And Nicole, this is more intricate than maybe some people realize, but I do think it has real implications, as you just outlined. There is a group of journalists that rotates through who's with the president in confined spaces, whether that's the Oval Office or on Air Force One. It's called the White House Press Pool. And normally the people who are selected to be filling those roles is run by an independent organization of White House correspondents, the White House Correspondents Association. Those responsibilities were ripped away from the Correspondents Association and now run by the White House. So each day, the journalists that are in the pool, some of those are handpicked by the White House, and those are the journalists asking those questions that we heard that are largely off topic or friendly toward the president, and it allows him to create and drive news cycles in largely conservative spaces unrelated to some of the most pressing issues of the day. So it's absolutely true that the changing press pool led by the White House changes has resulted in the president receiving questions that he's more eager to answer, and we've seen him often call out these journalists and say, who are you from? I love you. We should be taking questions just from them. And it's often from clearly partisan conservative outlets.
Which makes it all the more amazing that these are his approval ratings. Let me read this to you guys. According to the Washington Post, Trump's handling of the Epstein files among MAGA Republicans, 43% approve, 17% disapprove, 39% have no opinion. That even with the deck stacked that much in his favor, where he has basically tossed out the kind of press corps that covered him in the first term, at least in numbers, that I understand there are still actual journalists in the White House press corps. Is that fair to say, Tyler? I mean, you cover
yes,
the
absolutely.
Trump White House.
We are still there, and we are still asking the tough questions when we have the opportunity to do so, and don't want to diminish the fact that there are real journalistic outlets that still do have access. It's obviously changed and diminished from previous administrations, but absolutely, when we get the opportunity to ask the president questions, as I have, we absolutely do that.
And when you've asked them for information, or I should ask you, have you asked the White House why Ghislaine Maxwell was moved from a low security prison to a lower security prison?
Yeah, those are questions that have been asked. I don't think we've gotten a real answer on that. I mean, it's something that is obviously the press corps is very energized and focused on, but I haven't seen for myself a real substantive answer on that decision.
And when his cabinet officials go out on other programs or avail themselves, are they pressured to answer these questions, or what is the dynamic with his cabinet, which is more politically aligned with him than I think any cabinet in any presidential history?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has become clear that for many of these cabinet officials, the most important thing is to be aligned on the message front with the president. The president is a, avid watcher of TV, and very much so will often call members of Congress or cabinet officials after they appear on TV. He's keenly aware of what they're saying and what they're doing. I mean, just for an example, yesterday we saw the Pentagon post on social media a picture of Pete Hegseth walking down the steps of his plane wearing jeans and sort of riffing on the Sydney Sweeney ad that the president jumped on after he was informed that she was a registered Republican. So we are seeing, I mean, Nicole, this is sort of the broad answer to your question is they are going to stay in line and repeat the talking points from the president and from the White House. And ultimately, we're not seeing a lot of daylight or distance between the president and any of the senior cabinet officials or White House officials.
It's super important.